guys, welcome to another episode of the Afro Millennial. In today's episode, I'm going to be discussing 5 business ideas that has the potential to build high profit margins for you, and at the same time, it have the potential to help develop the African continent, make life better for the people living there. Now, my target audience for this video is Africans living in Africa or in the diaspora who plan to move to Africa to live there or to start businesses there. Why would you want to start a business in Africa? I'm going to go through these points quickly because that's not the main point of this video, but it's good to know why going to start a business in Africa is even a topic for conversation in the first place. So first, I'm going to talk about the growing population of Africa. Africa has a large population and it keeps growing by the year. So currently the population of Africa is about 1.5 billion. It keeps growing year by year. And that's like about 17.89% of the world's population. And with the way things are going in Asia and in Europe, Africa is going to make up more and more of the world population as time goes on. And also, the population of Africa is very young. Median age for Africa is about 19 years. And so the next point is more affordable labor. If such a young and growing population, then there's also going to be a supply of labor. Apart from that, going back to the first point, the young and growing population represents high demand because these people are going to consume a lot of goods and services in their daily lives. So that's a very good customer base. And at the same time, they are also supplying labor, affordable labor, which is not common in the West or in more developed countries. So these are reasons why business in Africa should be attractive to Africans and Africans living in the diaspora. Apart from that, there's also available natural resources. Africa has a lot of arable land. It's rich in mineral resources, and of course, like I just said, great human people, high levels of education going on. So it's a good human resource that's coming into play. So all these things combine to make Africa a very good business destination for business people around the world. Yes, so we have to encourage Africans to invest, enjoy these profits that will come with investing in businesses in Africa, while at the same time being able to help develop their own continent. Now, the business ideas I'm going to give in this video strongly linked to these 3 reasons. So they are based on Africa being a growing population, they're based on there being affordable labor, and also a lot of natural resources, and like the challenges that come with all of these things. They provide great business opportunities that I'll talk about some of them in this video. Okay, so the first business opportunity I'm going to talk about is agro-processing, right? So 60% of the world's arable land is in Africa. And then Africa has a large farming population, and high percentages of people in African countries are farmers compared to other countries. So there's a lot of food production going on. There's a lot of farming going on. Yet still, we see Africa importing a lot of food products from other countries. Why is that? I'm going to give some, I'll mention poor road networks. The farmers are in the rural areas mostly, producing food, and then getting transportation, the means to transport produce to the urban areas where a lot of the population is concentrated. So the produce ends up getting rotten and being wasted in the rural areas. So it's just a transportation problem. People can't get their products to the markets or to the demand source, which is mostly the urban areas. So these are some of the reasons. And also seasonality. Foodstuffs like tomatoes, vegetables like tomatoes, they come in seasons. So in Africa, when tomatoes are in season, they are very cheap. But then when they go out of season, they become very expensive and scarce. And all of these things are reasons why agro-processing will be a very good business venture, because if you're able to bridge that gap, seasonality, processed foods that are seasonal, mangoes, avocado, a lot of seasonal foods, if you're able to process them to last throughout the year, there's going to be demand for such foodstuffs throughout the year, and that will give you high profits. Apart from talking about poor road networks and such things, if you are able to set up a processing plant in the rural areas, then these foods will be processed from their source before being transported, so the probability of reaching the demand source becomes higher. So it's a win-win situation. The farmers are happy with their crops produce are being processed or being purchased, you, hopefully, you're going to be the manufacturer or food processor, the people in the urban centers are happy to pay for such foodstuffs throughout the year. They'll be happy to get food throughout the year, and you as the business person will be happy to get profits throughout the year because people are willing to buy your products. So it's a win-win situation. I don't see how that's going to, of course there's going to be challenges, but relating to profits, I think this is a very good business idea for profits. Now the next point I'm going to talk about is exports. It's still linked with agri mostly, since agri products are African countries produce more agricultural products. So what I was thinking of is export within Africa. Every country has crops that they specialize in producing. So if you're able to facilitate exports within African countries, you're going to get your profits because you're going to get demand from other countries. You're expanding the demand base by going out into other countries. So you're going to help people in the country you're exporting from by helping them to specialize, making them highly specialized, producing a market for their goods or demand for their goods, and also supplying other niche. So it's plain you are become the middleman in the play of demand and supply. It just facilitates everything, and I think that's a good way to make money, a lot of money, because if you are looking at there are 50 more than 50 African countries. So if you're able to do that kind of thing, then you are linking 50 plus markets and getting profit from that. And I think that's a good way to make money while at the same time helping the people in those countries. Now, in the same way, these the first 2 points are going to open up the need for logistics and transportation businesses. So if we are talking about agro processing, after you process your goods, there's a supply chain that is set up that you have people can take advantage of. So there's the opportunity for supply chain and logistic businesses. Transportation, if you're talking about exportation within Africa, are we talking about transportation by road, by air? All those things come into play to provide more business opportunities for people who are willing to invest in the continent. And these transport logistics business come with a lot of profits. So if you know what you're doing in the business, you get a lot of profits from that. So that's a very good business venture to invest in. Okay, so now I'm going to shift a bit from production, agriculture, and all that, and go into real estate. Now, I've seen a lot of videos talking about real estate investment in Africa, but then when I see the buildings or the real estate being invested in, it feels like the target population, the target market is not Africans, mostly. It's not Africans living in Africa. It's more high-end buildings, priced in dollars, Airbnbs and all that. Yes, that's a market on its own, which I think is getting saturated. So what I would suggest you invest in is affordable housing. So there's research to say that housing deficits affect over 50 million Africans living in the continent. So if there's this much people who need places to stay, especially in the urban areas, people move there to work, and housing is so expensive that it's taking up most of their income, more than 50% of their incomes in the urban areas. So if you are able to provide solutions to such problems, provide affordable housing, I think that's something there'll be a lot of demand for. People will be willing to pay to get housing that corresponds with the income they get. So if you're able to do that, I think you'll get a lot of profits from that instead of going into the already saturated markets of high-end buildings and all that. So I think that affordable housing is a key business venture that you should consider investing in. Finally, I'm going to talk about renewable energy. So most African countries are faced with the problems of inefficient power production, right? So there's power outages here and there. Businesses are suffering. It's expensive to get power. So I think being able to provide efficient power sources, I'm thinking solar, because most African countries have a lot of sunlight. So if you're able to find ways to get businesses on solar energy, or households, they'll be willing to pay for that since they're already paying for the conventional methods of electricity production, which is not efficient for most people now in Africa. So if you're able to do power, solar energy, wind energy, provide such renewable energy solutions for households and businesses, then I think you'll be in for a big hit. Yeah, people are already doing it. We are seeing people building houses and putting in solar panels just for an alternative source of power. So if you are able to venture into that, make it easier for people to get such services or such products, that will be a very good, because the demand is there. Once you're able to establish the supply, you're going to get high yield profits. I think these are high yield businesses that you should consider putting your money into instead of the more common ones people are doing. Finally, I would also put one in that might be capital intensive for most people. And yeah, it's just something to mention. I don't know who will watch this video and what their specializations or their skills are. One thing that will help or that will have high demand in Africa is providing affordable internet resources. So Wi-Fi, affordable Wi-Fi. If you can provide that, there's the demand. People are willing to pay for it. People are paying high. That's expensive. So if you're able to bring down the costs and produce like fast speed internet, high speed internet, that's something I think you make a lot of money from. But that's capital intensive, so that's why I didn't add to my 5 businesses. So there's just an extra point, just in case someone has the expertise and the capital needed to do that. Now, let me know in the comment section if you think there are other areas that will yield high profits while at the same time helping to develop the continent. I mean, that's what we all want, right? For the continent to be developed, for Africans living there, and for Africans who wish to go back. So if you think there are businesses that satisfy these 2 criteria, they'll yield high profits and at the same time help develop the continent, let me know in the comment section. Also, let me know which one of these businesses you would like me to expand on in future videos so that I do more research and bring you more details into investing into such businesses. Finally, I know doing business comes with challenges. So in the next video, I'm going to look at some of the challenges that these businesses come with, like the challenges that doing business in Africa in general comes with. So please subscribe to my channel and watch out for the next videos or the next series, the series of videos that will come after this one, where I'll talk about the challenges you may face when you go to do business in Africa. Thank you for sticking to the end of the video. I hope you found the information in the video valuable or helpful. And if you did, please like the video and share to someone who you think might benefit from the information in the video. Also subscribe. And yes, thank you again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.